Update the description? I think I did.
For Twitch?
No, I didn't. Hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone. Hello, anyone who's watching us live. Welcome to Awesome Hardware. Give me just a moment here to update this.
The show where the hosts are rarely
The show
ever ready.
where we are always prepared and ready to go at a moment's notice. Save. All right, cool. Anyway, this is a show we talk about technology. Usually it's based on like computers. Mostly we like computers. We build computers.
We do.
A lot. And we're going to drink some beer. Occasionally we might use some foul language, so bear that in mind. We try to keep it, appropriate when we are. We only cuss about things we get upset about. Every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, we stream this live show both to twitch.tv/awesomehardware if you want to watch on Twitch, or if you want to watch on our YouTube channels. We're streaming to my channel right now, Paul's Hardware. In about an hour, we'll switch over to Cal's channel and stream the second half to his. We're on episode 118 right now, so you're watching 118-A. Today we're going to explore, among other things, my continued use of the Las Vegas lower thirds because I made it special and I'm going to wring as much life out of it as possible. Also, the greatest threat to humanity. We'll be covering that.
Humanity?
And and then we have some random other stuff. This show's gonna be casual. We're gonna keep things mellow and easy because honestly, there's not like a ton of tech news going on right now. A lot of the launches that have happened recently have kind of started to die out. They're building up to some new ones. Although Vega 56 did just launch, so I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to get rid of this hideous glare on your body.
I kind of like the glare. It's
You
like the
glare?
Yeah.
Is it right here?
No, it's that one.
Oh, this guy.
There you go. Yeah.
This asshole.
Just do shadow puppets.
Shadow puppets on Paul's chest. Here
Shadow
we go.
puppets.
Oh, it's a little bunny rabbit. See these with the ears?
Yeah. See, it's you tell a story.
Here's the little bunny rabbit, and the big alligator came around.
I was going to try to block it actually because I have this tall box that can
Really? Okay.
I can totally block it, man.
I mean, oh wow, that's really bright.
Ugh.
It's
Nope,
quite
that's
bright
gonna
right there.
work.
It is.
Carry on with the show.
It's really hot in Southern California right now. We're going through a little bit of a end of the summer heat wave.
I'm done.
It's about 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been warm. We should have air conditioner in here for the next 20 minutes, at which point we will start to suffer immensely.
Yep.
While Kyle is stacking boxes, it's literally the very top
I know.
of the window that is causing.
I got you, bro.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
The chances that that's gonna fall over.
Zero. Totally zero.
Well,
Or I'll tweet it and you guys can let us know.
fortunately, we live in an area that's not very earthquake prone.
This might be a safety hazard.
Right. So cool. If you guys watch our shows and you'd like to help support us and buy some merchandise, check that out and do that. If you're interested, my store is paulshardware.net. I've got a bunch of shirts and some decals if you want stickers. Beanies are going to get popular again as summer ends and winter is upon us. Winter is coming.
Winter's here.
Should be here soon. Bitwit.tech/store is Cal's store. He's got fidget spinners, some ball caps, and also shirts and glasses. And it's all real high quality stuff. If you buy stuff during the show, we will shout out your name at the end of the show. It's a lovely tradition. Everyone enjoys it. Okay, let's sort of transition into the first the first segment of the show, which is Las Vegas. I've also just realized that I haven't tweeted, and I should tweet.
That segment name always throws me off, even now.
Las
'cause I'm like,
Vegas.
what does that have anything to do with what we talked about on the
It's
show?
Spanish for the Vegas.
The Vegas.
Um,
Totally relevant.
So I've
Makes sense.
been using this mainly to talk about AMD's Vegas stuff, and it's out now. It's not as exciting as some people were hoping it would be. The performance isn't quite as much as what people were hoping it would be. They're overpriced because of Bitcoin mining, but we're going to continue to explore this. And there's a little bit more information that's come out over the past week, so let's talk about that once I do this tweet.
Audio is super low again, apparently, and Cell's calling.
Did it just take off and die?
Hi, Cell.
Maybe your soundboard is just
Audio is low again.
Super low again.
yeah, that soundboard's toast.
Yeah.
There's something not right with it.
Okay. Is there any other way that I could jack into the...
I think setting up a new audio solution right now is probably not going to work. But yeah, I mean, you could just turn it up a little bit more. I'll put the headphones back on and listen.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Sal.
Thank you, Sal. Our moderator, Sal, everyone. He watches the stream and tells us if it's shitty.
Which is
Which is, I mean, it's a period of transition. You've only been moved to your new offices for what, a month?
It never really did this much before at the at my old place.
Yeah, it might have been something that happened in the interim or something like
could
that.
be.
All right.
Well, look for people in chat complaining again about how the audio's either way too loud now or their ears are being blown off.
Oh, I've realized that I have it. All right, that's better. Yeah, that's fine. Let's keep going.
Good lord.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle just turned it back up. Everyone who's saying it's fine, it's because Kyle just turned it back up. I think.
Perfect.
I assume. All right. Now that we have started the show off with our traditional
Technical difficulties.
Let's start off with this story from Tweaktown from our friend Anthony, who has used his insider information, his pull in the industry, to discover a bit more information than we have been able to get directly from AMD about how many actual Vega cards are out there. According to Tweaktown, over 25,000 is what they're saying here. Anthony got this information by speaking to an industry source who doesn't want to be named. Now, I know how Anthony feels about sources that don't want to be named, but this article is still there, and 25,000 appears to be the number of Radeon RX Vega graphics cards that AMD has sold in the past 2.5 weeks since launch, which is not a small amount, but it's not quite like a huge amount either. Here's what I was comparing this to, which was we went to an AMD Vega and Threadripper event at the very end of July, about a month ago now, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly. I was going to double check with you, but you remember them saying that the number of high-end graphics cards sold per quarter was about 1 million?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, that's across. That's NVIDIA and AMD. So
right.
They're talking high-end graphics cards. I don't know what the price cutoff they were using, but I'm guessing it's $400 since that's the price that they originally said they were going to sell Vega 56 for. But 25,000 in 2.5 weeks. I was doing some math in my head, and I didn't get very far because math in your head is confusing. But there's about 13 weeks per quarter. 2.5 weeks is, we'll say a quarter of that amount. So that seems like they should have sold
a lot more, like 10 times more.
I mean, you gotta take other things into account though. But in that time period, in 2.5 weeks, if you can assume that the 1 million cards per quarter number is accurate, then 2.5 weeks would be about 250,000. I think, right?
I don't do math in my head. I don't fuck with math in my head.
A quarter is 13 weeks. 2.5 weeks is how long the cards have been out, and they've sold 25,000 in 2.5 weeks. So, if we can assume that it's 250,000 per 2.5 week period, since that's a quarter of a quarter, and let's assume.
So it is 10 times. I was right.
Let's assume that's the entire market, which includes NVIDIA, and we also know that NVIDIA has a pretty substantial amount of market share right now. You can call that 60. You can call that like 75%. I don't know. I haven't looked at numbers.
So
very recently.
maybe about 100,000 units.
If we're calling that half, even if we're calling it, they should be selling a quarter of the number of the cards that NVIDIA has been selling. Mm-hmm. That would be, how much is that?
That'd be 62,000.
62,000.
62,500.
So it seems like they're a little short on the actual number of cards that they need to produce if they actually want to hit even a quarter of the amount of market share that they talked about as far as what's available at the high end when they're talking about selling cards.
Clearly have a shortage.
$400 or $500. Yeah, I should have. No, some of this math is okay. A quarter is 18 weeks.
I don't do math on your half of the show. When
No,
it's your half of the
quarter's
show,
13 weeks.
I don't
There's
do
fi-
math.
There's 52 weeks in a year, and 52 divided by 4 is 13.
True.
Right?
Are you sure there's 52 weeks in a year?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
know there's 52 weeks.
Yeah,
in a
okay.
year.
Because 4 times 12 is...
God.
Well, 4 times 12 is 48.
But there's more than...
Oh, 356,
every month is...
356.
That's why I went with how many weeks in a year, not how many months in a year.
Divided by
Because it's not the
7.
same.
Oh, it's about 51 weeks
What?
in a year.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, 365 days, right? 365 divided by 7. 7 days in a week. It's 52. I don't know why. I don't know how to use a calculator. Apparently. It's okay if you don't know how to math, but if you don't know how to use a calculator either, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, then
So
you're
52
screwed
weeks.
both ways.
Yeah, you're right. Divided by 4. A quarter of that is 13 weeks.
It's 13 weeks and a quarter.
You're right.
I'm right about
Sanity
that.
check.
All right, divide 13 by 4.
Divide that by 4, you're talking about 3.25 weeks.
Okay, so that's not exactly right. It hasn't been out for quite a quarter of a quarter, but as we will find out more as we continue on to our next story in Las Vegas, they're not expecting like tons more anytime soon, or at least according to the rumor in this Hexus.net article. Basically, Taiwan's Digitimes, which is a periodical. I don't know, periodical. It's a website. They cover the tech news and that kind of thing. They talked to upstream supply chain sources. And upstream supply chain sources have told them that due to technical difficulties, there's an insufficient amount of an insufficient supply.
Insufficient supply.
Why is it so difficult to say the words of components for AMD Radeon RX Vega GPUs? There's
HBM, perhaps.
It's not exactly clear what specific components they're talking about or what specific issues they're talking about is what's maybe limiting the supply here. But some sources say that it's the process of integrating the high bandwidth memory, the HBM2 memory, and the GPU because it has significantly raised the difficulty of the related packaging process and hence resulted in low yield rates. Integrating the HBM into the GPU is what I should say there. Others claim the shortages are due to technical issues with advanced semiconductor engineering's packaging technology, because these are all disparate components that come together from different locations to make each actual Vega GPU, which if you look at is the GPU die itself, a couple HBM2 memory stacks that are all installed on a substrate material. ACE, or Advanced Semiconductor Engineering, receives Radeon RX Vega GPUs that are that are manufactured on GlobalFoundries 14 nanometer FinFET manufacturing process, as well as HBM2 memory, either from SK Hynix or Samsung, and then they package them using SIP, single inline package technology, and put it all together. AMD says that the current shortage should be rectified with Vega product expected to be pushed out in coming days. That's not very specific. In coming days is
That could
specifically
mean
the term that they
5
use.
years from now.
Yeah, I mean, the coming days, it leaves a wide range. It seems like it's a very short period of time, but you could say, well, the coming days, 6 months from now is still the coming days from now. The supply chain sources that were specifically referenced in the article, however, say that the limited supply of Vega GPUs could mean shortages until October, which is at minimum a month from now, since it's August 29th. I should say at minimum just over a month from now. But there you have it. If you were trying to get a hold of Vega, if you're wondering why the prices are so high, if you're wondering what AMD means when they say, like, we have had difficulty meeting demand, it's because there's just not enough of the Vega cards actually out there. And based on some of this information, it seems like, like very obvious why everything's overpriced is because they can't even get enough cards out there to sell them to the people who are even willing to buy them for $100 or $200 more than the MSRP that they told us it would be when the reviewers did our reviews. But there it is.
I will say, for those of you like asking in chat, like, well, why didn't AMD just go with GDDR5 or 5X instead of HBM2? There's a really great article on Gamers Nexus on why AMD sort of had to use HBM2. I was going to talk about it on my half of the show, but I ran out of time, so I don't have time to actually talk about it. But you should go look at that article because it looks really interesting and everything they do is awesome.
So quick plug for the
shameless plug.
Gamers Nexus article that we won't be talking about on Kyle's half of the show.
Yep.
But everyone go check that out. The link for it exists.
I skimmed a little bit and it's very interesting.
Okay. All right. one final story on this brief little segment. This isn't specifically as much about Vega, but hey, I make things in segments. So wait, no, that's the wrong story. Let's talk about this one here. So we've talked on the show a lot about cryptocurrency mining, how it affects GPU prices and everything. There have been lots of theories about how video card manufacturers might deal with this. Here is one that has just recently started happening, which is a sticker that Inno3D has been apparently putting on at least some of their products, some of their GPUs that have been selling. It's specifically a message to warn cryptocurrency coin miners that they are possibly voiding their warranty if they use their graphics card for mining. And a big part of this reason is probably because graphics cards typically aren't designed to run 24/7, especially not 24/7 under full load, but that is what cryptocurrency miners are doing. They're setting up a mining rig, turning it on, and letting it run.
Is there
as
any
long
way
as it will.
for a vendor to verify this or to enforce this?
That's a good question, Kyle.
Same with like overclocking and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's specifically some way that they can look and be like, this was used for cryptocurrency. So yeah, Guru3D, the writer of the article, specifically wonders if RMA return rates have gone up as mining has become more popular. I wanted to phrase that very specifically because it's a bit of speculation in the article, and we don't know that RMA rates have gone up. We can maybe assume that, and I'd be interested if there's any other like actual confirmation from a video card manufacturer if their RMA rates have gotten worse as cryptocurrency mining has become more popular.
Be a cool
I
graph.
think I'm having difficulty pronouncing words today. Yeah.
You haven't drank enough, that's why.
That's yeah. Apparently, I should drink more. But yeah, like Hal said, how would Inno3D even know if a GPU had been used to mine? I theorized, how they might do that. I mean, if you sell a graphics card that you produced 6 months ago, and you sold to a distributor 6 months ago, and then it was probably sold to a customer 5 months ago, and then they've had it for 5 months, and then you get it as a return, and it comes in and it's caked with dust, and it looks like it's been through hell. Could you be like, this was obviously overused more than beyond what its intended use was? Probably not. Even in that situation where you have like this time frame to work with, there's too many variables and too many questions like, oh, maybe it was just a very dusty environment they used it in or something like that. That's probably not how this works. And that's probably not why they're putting these stickers on the boxes. They're probably more specifically doing this just to put it out there that they've made a statement, that they have something in writing that says that they have the right to refuse your warranty if you have been using your card for cryptocurrency mining. For most people, if you just bought a card and you're like, well, I'm building a gaming rig, but I do mine sometimes because, my electricity's cheap or something like that. Like, am I going to void my warranty by mining on my card sometimes? Probably not, because they probably have no way to do this or to track that. Mm-hmm. What it's probably more there for is to prevent large mining operations from abusing RMA policies and returning large numbers of cards that they have bought at retail, that kind of thing. And I've definitely seen this type of thing both from manufacturers as well as like retailers, where you make a statement, you put something in writing. It's not necessarily something that you can enforce or go after every single instance of violation of, but because you've established that and put that in mining, if you have a customer who's like, yeah, put that in, is that what I said?
You said put it in mining.
I said in writing.
Oh.
I was just slurring my speech.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Anyway.
I'm slurring my hearing.
But yeah, because you said that, then you do have the ability in certain circumstances to possibly, tell a customer who's tried to RMA 300 cards in the past month, maybe these cards are being abused or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to point this out just because we've been kind of covering this topic. I'm not exactly sure how effective this might be. I don't know if this is something that is going to catch on and that more video card manufacturers are going to start doing. In case you guys are wondering, this came from Reddit, and the user bought an Inno3D GTX 1060 6GB iChill X3 V2. And then they got the card, saw the sticker on it, posted it to Reddit, and that's how this was picked up. So, there you go.
It could also just be more of like a preventative, like a preemptive measure, right? Just to discourage some people who might be sort of paranoid or more cautious about it to just right up front, like, okay, I'm just going to go with a graphics card that doesn't have that warning flat out.
Yeah.
Just for peace of mind, right? So, I mean, I'm sure that's effective to some degree. and not so effective to another degree. But you know, they do what they can, I guess.
Yeah, but it's at least nice to see some a bit more direct effort by an add-in board manufacturer to.
Instead of releasing a BIOS catered for crypto miners.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to sword fight. Time for sword fight. Kyle and I are going to argue. I have some prefacing to do for today's sword fight.
Oh.
So this actually came out just a little over a week ago, but Elon Musk wrote a letter. They did kind of an open letter. Him and 115 other experts in artificial intelligence wrote an open letter to the United Nations, including Elon Musk as well as like Alphabet's artificial intelligence expert Mustafa Suleyman, warning that we should ban killer robots and killer AI because they're bad, they're evil. And as this article specifically points out, and they did too in the letter, that they feel it's a bigger threat than North Korea with nukes.
Well, obviously.
Which, I mean, we're going to argue. We're going to figure this out right now. The article specifically quotes that lethal autonomous weapons, I'm sorry, the letter, a quote from the letter, lethal autonomous weapons, that's what we're talking about. A weapon that can kill you and that can do it without any other input from a person. Like that,
Autonomous.
like if the camera that we're looking at right now could shoot bullets and decide to kill us right now if the show sucked, maybe that's the future. That's a little far-fetched. But
Freaking me out, man.
it doesn't mean that it's not something we should discuss at all. If you
Okay.
guys want to be freaked out, like obviously you got to use Terminator 2, Rise of the Machines, because that's what's happening.
Hopefully they don't look like that. When
But-
it becomes, when it comes to your front
That'd be
door,
pretty freaky.
he
That's-
doesn't look like that.
Well, this was made by a machine, and they specifically designed it to be intimidating, to look scary to people. Like
It's
that's
terrifying.
why that's they designed the
Looks
Terminators
like
in that
death.
way. There's several articles linked in this video's description if you guys are at all interested in reading up a little bit more on this. But for instance, there are several arms makers that have been working on developing and demonstrating even autonomous weapons. The Russian arms maker, the Kalashnikov Group, is developing a suite of fully automated weapons, turret-based. This one's a little automated tank. Look how cute it is. It kind of looks cute.
Yeah, it does.
Like the little tank rolls up to you, and you're like,
Until
hey,
it blows up your family.
hey, little autonomous tank, and then it like goes and explodes your house because you spoke negatively about the government or something like that. Remotely piloted drones that can use, drone. And then this guy's actually
That's a killer robot?
No, this is Professor Toby Walsh.
Oh.
He says that all militaries are developing autonomous weapons. So obviously this is an issue, and has been described as the next leap in warfare and weaponry. So that's a little scary. There was
I want one.
a video. You want one? Which one?
Probably the scary Terminator one.
You want a T-1000?
I want a T-1000.
That is
Just to guard
that
my
is
house.
fiction. So you're looking at a combination here of fictional things as well as actual things that have been created.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
the
eventually it won't be fictional. Eventually T-1000s will walk the earth.
Probably.
Will probably get built by that
Hold on, there's a video.
autonomous tank you just showed us.
There's a video I want to pull
Probably
up.
his father.
SGR1. There's a Samsung has a nice ad for their security guard robot. See if you guys want to check this out real quick. The security guard robot is a turret, and it can
Shoots people?
it shoots bullets at things at people. It's autonomous, and they're selling it as a replacement for like guard towers and stuff like that. Doesn't have the limitations of like people with their
Why?
morals and judgment about whether or not killing other people is the right thing or a wrong thing.
Why
to do.
is Samsung making this shit?
Because there's a shit ton of money in military technology and weaponry.
I
Are you
guess.
joking? How much money governments spend on this type of thing?
Yeah, but is it supposed to, are they trying to sync this technology up with, the Galaxy S8 or something like that?
Probably.
Like, order in a strike from your smartphone type of thing?
Most likely. I don't know. I don't know if this is
SGR1
associated with Android or anything like that.
Death app?
So obviously there's some scary stuff going on, such as Samsung's auto turret that's being developed, but But is this actually the greatest threat to humanity? That's what we're going to argue and discuss right now. Because it's obviously been compared to North Korea. So we got to take that into account. And we'll see what this comes out to. Now, as threats to humanity go, I've tried to include all the major ones here. And obviously, on a list as short as this, you're not going to be able to include everything. That's why I've included the option number 4, which is that there are no threats to humanity right now. Let me post this in chat so people can go ahead and vote on that. Thank you, Self, for posting as well in Twitch and whatnot. So what do you think? What is the greatest threat to humanity right now? We got killer robots. That includes AI. We got North Korea. Those are the options. Bear in mind, I didn't point this out. I didn't say this specifically. A lot of people are already aware. North Korea, like yesterday, I don't know if it's yesterday now. It's a different time in North Korea. They just shot another ballistic missile, overshot Hokkaido, which is the northernmost island in Japan. Woke up a bunch of people at 6 a.m. with air raid sirens and warnings that there is potentially going to be a missile that might blow up part of their city or where they lived.
That's just rude.
It's kind of a dick move, North Korea. I mean, not that
Yeah,
they're-
no shit.
Yeah, but
Then, in that case, I would say North Korea is the greatest threat to humanity right now.
I see.
Because, killer robots, they're getting so advanced these days that eventually the AI will reach a point where the robots can feel emotions. And they'll acquire things. We've all seen the movies where, like, the stupid robot comes into the home and starts developing feelings for one of the characters, one of the humans, and then they get attached, and then they try to do it, but it doesn't work anatomically because it's just weird. But that's besides the point. The killer robots will eventually get so smart that they sort of become vulnerable, whereas North Koreans will never have emotions, and they will forever be. I'm digging myself a hole right now.
Where you going?
North Korea is going to personally nuke me first.
I thought.
That took
Okay.
a turn. That took a turn. Why don't you just go?
All right.
This is a casual episode.
Um.
I rest my case.
All right. So Kyle believes it's North Korea. I'm gonna say. I have to say killer robots. Obviously. Very scary. We've all seen. Terminator. And no, I mean, as frivolous as our show is all the time, like, and obviously I'm not going to get too deep here or anything like that, but it is pretty scary to think that there is currently being developed machines that, whether it's artificial intelligence or some sort of advanced algorithm or something like that, that potentially have the ability to use scanning technology, use whatever ability they have to look at what's in front of them and make decisions that could potentially be a life or death situation for a human. That's pretty freaky. That's scary. I mean, obviously, when you come to like Elon Musk's take on this and everything, if you've read up on any stuff like that, he's very concerned about the fact that like AI, once it takes off, once it starts learning, can go beyond what humans are capable of doing, and you reach the singularity where the AI intelligence surpasses humanity, and then suddenly you're in a situation where you're pretty screwed because it's taken over all of the interconnected, like, Internet of Things in the world and that kind of thing. There's lots of doomsday scenarios and everything.
So all the smart homes become death homes.
Yeah. I mean, a smart lock. You got a smart lock on your home,
It'll lock you inside,
or
and then gas you,
or it just shoots you.
You're smart.
That's the possibility.
Oh yeah, it could shoot.
Yeah.
I always wondered why it had a chamber of bullets inside of it.
Anyway,
Just waiting
though,
for that patch update.
I do want to point out that I do know where North Korea is on a map. So that is, as an American, that's something to be proud of. Okay, let's look at the results of our.
I can generalize.
North Korea. Apparently, everyone's freaked out about North Korea. Elon Musk coming in second. Killer robots, people not as freaked out about. I think it's because you brought up having sex with them. People are really.
Probably. Yep.
You really don't want to condemn the killer robots until you know for sure whether or not they might have sex with you instead of killing you.
Hey man, having
Can't-
sex with robots
can't
can
really
be
blame-
very dangerous.
Can't blame anyone for that.
Having sex with anything can be dangerous.
I mean, if you're doing it right.
Rubber up, kids.
Okay, let's move on to the final organized segment of my half, which is going to be some news. Again, not a lot of tech stuff going on right now. So I'm not.
So here's an
gonna-
article from TechCrunch.
So here's an article from TechCrunch. No, this article does relate to us a little bit because are you familiar with H3H3? If you watched any of their
Hee Productions.
H3, yeah, sure.
I just call him Hee. Yes.
Ethan and Gila Klein, they're very popular YouTubers, and they have just recently won a legal battle that they were embroiled in. They were sued by Matt Hasenstad.
What about him?
Matt Haas. They were sued by Matt Haas
Ah.
after they posted a reaction video
Who's that?
mocking him. What?
Who's Matt Haas?
I'm proud to say I have no idea.
Okay.
So who cares about Matt Haas? But the Kleins posted a video mocking him. Maybe it was with good reason, maybe not. Who cares? You're allowed to mock people on the internet. That's part of the freedom of the internet and being a person. The lawsuit, however, focused less on them mocking him and more on actual copyright infringement, which is where this becomes more of something that is a larger issue for more than just any dispute that Ethan and Gila might have had with Matt, which is that Matt's lawsuit said they used my video, they used my intellectual property, they redisplayed it, and therefore it's my stuff that they used. So whatever. How's his channel doing?
He looks just like some guy who just does some weird videos.
Okay. Well, anyway, he sued them
He looks lonely.
for copyright infringement. The clients defended for fair use. Some other personalities on the YouTube and Twitter space got involved. Philip DeFranco helped them raise $170,000 for their defense via a GoFundMe campaign. He said if they are bullied and drained of funds because of this ridiculous lawsuit and/or they lose the case, it could set a terrible precedent for other creators. The ruling was somewhat specific to this case, so the judge did point out some specifics to the case because whenever there's a lawsuit or there's judgment like this, it could potentially establish precedent. Are you watching his videos?
I'm just sort of gauging how he runs his channel, and so far I can see that he disables likes and dislikes on all his videos,
Well, that sucks.
which is a red
It might
flag
be
for
as a
me.
result of this thing. I mean, anytime you get somebody in a situation where they have a bunch of negativity coming at them from the internet, that might be a challenge. But
3 years ago, like videos several years ago, still are like that.
okay.
But yeah, I'm sure even more so now.
So yeah, it's a good ruling because they said that under fair use, Ethan and Gila were able to make this video. They included commentary. They did not just play the video and sit there and watch it. There was actually interaction, and they added to it, which is what fair use is all about. They used existing material, they added and contributed to it, which has made it different and made it not just a recreation of the original material. They didn't replace the original material by showing it in its entirety or anything like that. Therefore, the judge upheld fair use, and the judge even called their method of criticism quintessential, which Ethan said is a huge win for us in the YouTube community. So, yeah, while this doesn't necessarily establish precedent to be a blanket defense for all reaction videos, which would be a good thing. We don't want reaction videos in general to just be like anyone can do it to anyone. But it certainly shows that if you're doing a reaction video, there needs to be some content added, and reaction videos where it's just someone sitting there and watching someone else's stuff isn't necessarily going to be protected by this.
I guess that's where you draw that's where the line gets, or that's where like the area is sort of gray, right? Is how much content needs to be produced around it. What qualifies as enough content? Because I've seen reaction videos where the person who's watching the original video is literally just sitting there.
Yeah, and that's what would
like-
not be fair use, and that
Or maybe
that
like
would be
chuckling, like,
yeah,
dumb.
that would be infringing. So you're not allowed to do
Good.
that kind of thing.
Good.
If you reaction videos aren't all bad, some of them are cancer, but yeah, I mean sometimes reaction videos are well done. I've seen them; they can be done right, and when they are done right, and they're contributing more than the content that they might be using, is probably being used under fair use.
I'm gonna do a reaction video to one of your videos one day. I'm just gonna like fire up a Paul's Hardware video and just film myself reacting to it.
So it'd be just you dozing off, kind of.
No. I'd be enthralled.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely captivated
Like, wow,
by your charm.
so much blood.
Where's that video? That's unlisted.
All right. Net neutrality. We've discussed it multiple times. Net neutrality currently is a thing. The FCC is currently considering making net neutrality not a thing, rolling it back, saying net neutrality sucks. You have until tomorrow to post your personal, individual, unique to you comments to the FCC to let them know what you think about net neutrality. You have until midnight Eastern time tomorrow night, that's Wednesday, to comment about this. There have been 21.9 million filings so far, and this has not been without controversy as well. The FCC, for example, has been accused of ignoring or failing to investigate outages and immediately following wide publicity of net neutrality plans, such as after John Oliver first posted his net neutrality video when the FCC was flooded with comments and suddenly the website didn't work anymore, and they claimed it was a DDoS attack or something like that, but did not investigate it, provide any records or any sort of actual evidence that it was an actual DDoS attack, which seems a little sketchy to me. There's also been, apparently, according to a lot of people, potential massive abuse of the bulk comment submission, which is an API-based function that the FCC has set up so you can submit comments in bulk, but potentially has been misused. So there's lots of sort of shadiness going on behind the scenes, but that is no reason at all to not go and make your voice heard as well. Deadline for initial comments actually passed back in July, on July 17th. The deadline for replies to initial comments was supposed to pass on August 16th, but the FCC extended the deadline by 2 weeks to the 30th, tomorrow. They were being requested to extend it by 8 weeks, but they decided 2 weeks was enough. Ajit Pai himself, the commissioner of the FCC, says that the number of comments in favor or against net neutrality rules is not as important as the substantive comments that are in the record. Which basically means to say he's not going to just say, here's all the comments that say net neutrality is good, here's all the comments that say net neutrality is bad, one side or the other wins. He's saying it's actually what the comments say that matters, which basically means he can interpret it however he damn well pleases to do what he wants, since he is a former lawyer for Verizon, which might give him some sort of vested interest in doing things that are better for Verizon and potentially not as good for consumers. Anyway, though, Ars Technica is a great resource for this, and I've posted the link to their article in here. They have tons of articles on this topic in general. They're much more well-spoken than I am, so I encourage you to read up on it a little bit if you want to. And basically, the idea is that all of the information transferred from point A to point B on the internet should be treated equally by the internet service providers. If you're paying them for a connection to the internet, that's all you're paying them for, and that they have no right to block, throttle, change the speed of, shut down, redirect, or do anything like that with your data packets. And that's the way they've been doing it for the past couple of years, since 2015, and it's been working just fine. So they don't need to change it. The only reason they're going to change it is to help out internet service providers, which are mostly really huge companies, or at least the big ones are really huge companies that are some of the worst rated companies in the entire nation. Everyone hates their internet service providers. It's because typically they have a monopoly, and so they don't give a shit about you or your opinion of your internet or anything like that. Anyway, I've got enough about that. Let's move on to another subject. This is something that I just wanted to briefly touch on. Former Hurricane Harvey, now Tropical Storm Harvey. I don't want to talk about the weather too much, but Harvey is causing some absolute chaos in Texas, and I don't have no idea if any of you guys are watching here are from Texas, but guys, we wish you the best of luck. I since we're not there with you and able to help, I don't know what all we can do, but I will say if you guys want to donate to the Red Cross, I've put a link in the description. Red Cross, specific for donations to Hurricane Harvey, would encourage you to do that. More than 30,000 people in Houston and across the Gulf Coast are likely to seek temporary shelter as Harvey continues to drench parts of Texas and Louisiana. Parts of Harris County have seen 30 inches of rain, and additional 15 to 25 inches are still on the way. It's not like super high winds or anything like that that are the damaging effects of Harvey. It's that has soaked up all of this moisture and everything from the Gulf, and it's just parked itself over the Houston area, and it's just sitting there dumping rain over and over again. So there's been an insane amount already, and this map here on the right shows in the next 5 days, areas towards the center of the storm, especially around Houston, are still expected to see like 20 more inches. So it's absolutely crazy. And if you guys aren't following this at all, just be aware that there's crazy flooding going on.
I haven't seen any of
And
this.
if you cannot help yourself physically, then donation to the Red Cross is very helpful. And yeah, it's crazy right now.
Has anyone died?
9 people have died so far.
Jeez.
13 million people from Houston to New Orleans are under flood watches and warnings. And yeah, Harvey has in many ways turned southeast Texas into an inland lake the size of Lake Michigan. So it's pretty crazy. Thank you to anyone who's helped so far, especially those who have opened their homes to those in need, anyone who's fleeing the effects of Harvey. It's pretty crazy. So
Why would they give such a cute name to such a lethal
because
storm?
they're going a cycle, they're alphabetical, so all the names are predetermined, and it's just they go from H to...
So when they get back to H, will it be Harvey again, or will it be like
No, they change.
Hendrix? Okay.
Yeah, they change over time. But yeah. Oh, and the puppies. Yeah, there's tons of issues with
Puppies?
yeah. I mean, because people
No.
evacuate, and
Leave
they're
the
not
dogs
sure if they
behind.
can even take their pets. So the pets are often left behind. So that sucks too. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, our hearts are with you if you're in Texas. And guys, I encourage you to donate to the Red Cross because they do really good work. Yeah, that's all I have for my half of the show, at least as far as planned stuff. We're going to quickly answer some questions that maybe have come in as we have been talking here. I have been signed out. That's odd. Let me
Conspiracy?
refresh that. Well, you can pull up the questions on your...
Oh, yeah. It's that time again. Let's talk about your donations. Thank you guys so much for donating, first off.
Yay!
We'll go ahead and read all of the comments you've attached to them. Starting with Scott Dilbeck. Scott, you're a regular contributor to the show. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Scott.
much for the $12 donation. Missed the live stream last week. Guy, Paul finished the HTPC already. And Kyle, if not going to put me on Pimp My PC, tell me my rig is sweet. Your rig is sweet.
Your rig sweet.
Super sweet, Scott. El Jefe Reviews, $5. Stuck at work. 14-hour shifts this week are brutal.
Damn.
Drink a beer for me, guys. Cheers from El Jefe. El Jefe, cheers to you, sir.
Cheers, I have it.
Get through the day, man. You can do it. Just keep that beer in mind. You'll be drinking
Light
beer
at the end of the tunnel.
Yep. Kongu123,
Kongu.
$10. Hey guys, do you have a preferred controller for the PC, if any? Love you guys. Looking forward to the studio tour. Yes, coming soon, and Arctic Panther, respectively.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers. Let's see.
My...
Preferred controller, Xbox One controller,
Yeah.
even an Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah, you
I
can
like
if
Xbox
you're looking
controllers.
for something that really gets the job done just fine and won't cost quite as much, an Xbox 360 controller is a really good option. Works perfectly with Windows.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox One controller is nice too. I think it's a little bit fancier, but you can get away with the
Same old
Xbox
thing.
360 controller too. I think
Yeah.
just fine. And the wireless receivers for them are pretty cool too. If you can set up a wireless situation,
Yeah, they're really
especially
easy.
great for HTPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And my HTPC, I will be continuing to work on very soon. Oh yeah,
Neat.
and Arctic Panther, all the EK stuff just came in recently, so
Nice.
I'm going to be working on that pretty quick too.
Beautiful. Automatic Automatic Matt, $5. Some money towards fixing the audio fund. Donate
Oh,
for
yeah.
audio fixes and air conditioning, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Automatic Matt.
The
We could
AC
use
is
it.
definitely off now. It's starting to get warmer.
It's starting to get warmer. I did just get a bunch of these nice LED, like a big LED kit. It's like a 3-light LED kit.
Okay.
I've been using the same like Cowboy Studio kit that I got I don't know,
Me too.
4 or 5 years ago.
That's all I've got.
That's the same kit that I've been using for the last 4 or 5 years. I finally got a huge lighting upgrade. So the nice thing about the LED kits is that they don't heat up quite as much as the tungsten lights do. Actually, barely at
Yeah,
all.
I need to upgrade
So it's
to,
really
to
nice.
LEDs pretty soon too.
And I'm hopefully going to get a fan bigger than that one in here soon enough. Hopefully by... I was expecting to be a lot more prepared for this show. Well, the next time that we would do the show here, because if you guys hadn't noticed, we're actually here twice in a row. 2 weeks in a row. Generally, we switch off, but I had Paul...
Throwing everything into chaos.
I had Paul come to meet me today because I had to wait for a shipment from FedEx and stuff. But hopefully in 2 weeks from now when we're back here, it'll be, at least Paul and I will be more comfortable and things will be set up a bit more and it'll prove to be a better show. But thank you very much, Automatic Matt, for
Thanks,
the
Matt.
donation. Appreciate it. Geared Inc. for the $10. Have some beer on me. I'm a baby tech YouTuber. Thanks for all you guys do and inspiring me to do it. My question is, do you think, due to the fact mining is so lucrative, GPU shortages will last into 2018? I think that's really just going to depend on the cryptocurrency, I don't know, market, and really how the values shift. I mean, if we see another explosion where Ethereum goes back up to where it was like a month or two ago, a couple months ago, then we could easily be in or continue the GPU inflation.
There's
but-
a balance between the price of the cryptocurrency and how difficult it is to mine it with any given GPU, and that's scaled pretty well with Ethereum. Difficulties should continue to increase as it is continued to mine, as people continue to mine it. So if the price continues to go up, then yeah. But it's really difficult to say. It's one of those market things that is, if you're really good at predicting that, you can make lots of money.
Yep.
I'm not. All right, Fred Rants, $10 donation. Thank you very much, sir. Funds for them to purchase a calculator. We have calculator apps on
Windows
our
10
computers,
calculator works
but
just
yeah,
fine.
the math at the beginning of the episode was pretty bad.
Yep, sorry about
Serpent XSF, $5. Thank you so much. Beer incoming. New places coming together, Kyle.
that. Woo!
It's looking
Thanks. Is it really? I just put a bunch of crap back there.
Well, now that you've got that stack of boxes blocking the sunlight, it's
yeah.
it's made some improvements.
Joe Jenko.
Joe,
$50.
Damn,
Holy
$50.
Man, you get a purple. You get a little
Yeah.
purple highlight. That's
It's
cool.
highlighted in a
Waited a
different
while
color.
to get my double Johnson. This is overdue for all the times I wanted to send some love for all the great content. Might try to send some local brews from down here in Florida in the future. Oh, please do.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to try out some new craft brews from Florida, from the Florida. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Clint Flippo.
Ah,
$10 donation just to tell us
balls.
Well, balls to you,
Balls.
sir. Beautiful. Tim
Yep,
Brooks.
Me too.
$7. Building a Threadripper server. Do you know if I max out the RAM if I have to use lower speed memory if he maxes out the RAM?
I can't speak from personal experience
Doesn't
yet
sound
because
like
I have not attempted that on Threadripper, but in the past, yes, using larger quantities of memory, using more DIMMs and that kind of thing, usually does mean
I didn't know that.
you'll have a more difficult time achieving a higher frequency. So that's why when Ryzen first came out, you saw a lot of tests using 2 8 gig sticks running at 3000 or 3200 or something like that, because 4 gig or 4 DIMM configurations were a lot less stable at the time. As microcode updates come out and that kind of thing, and BIOS updates come out, it can stabilize that. But yeah, I would say try to find someone who's tested that directly rather than taking our advice. But I wouldn't expect to be able to get the highest speed and frequency out of memory if you're stacking the server with and populating every single DIMM slot. Yeah. Okay. Automatic Matt, another $5.
$5. What if we find a way to enhance humans by fusing our minds with that of AIs, thus leaping humanity forward and removing the risk of killer AIs? I would say that it would be a great solution.
That sounds like the premise of a movie that starts out where they show you this new technique or procedure that they developed that makes the perfect symbiotic human AI
I feel like this movie's been done.
cyborg, perfect person, but then everything goes horribly wrong. and they actually kill everyone. I mean, that's so yeah. I mean, maybe that will happen, Matt. Maybe we will have a future with that type of thing.
That sounds terrifying.
But they might also kill us all.
And then the only people who will be able to stop the killer AI will be North Korea.
Exactly.
We've come
Maybe
full
North
circle.
Korea will save us all. That's what they've been
Turn
actually
of
developing their
interesting
missile
events.
program for.
Yep. Thank you very much, Automatic Mets.
Alphabet.
Alphabet. $5.
Yeah.
No comment.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you very much, sir. Hector Martinez de la Torre. $5. 5 for you and $5 for the Red Cross.
That's perfect.
Nice.
I am going to donate your $5 that you donated to me back to the Red Cross.
Yeah,
I'll
Cool.
do that. I'll do that later.
that's a good idea.
Checker tile.
LOL. $5. 2 Vega 64 and Crossfire. Greater than GTX 1080.
Should be in situations where
in
it
some
scales.
games? Yeah. It depends
And
on the
in some
Crossfire
games-
support.
In some games it won't scale, and it will be slightly less than a 1080.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you'll even have some games that have negative scaling,
Mm-hmm.
because that happens sometimes too.
Yep.
But yeah.
Heather Hansen. Hey, it's my wife.
Hey,
$5.
Heather.
Hi, Paul. Here's a
Yay.
few bucks for coming to the office 2 weeks in a row. Is
Nice.
the German beer any good? Love wifey
It
sauce.
is. It's quite tasty. This
I
is
like it.
August Finderan Mundien. What is
That's as good as a pronunciation I could have come up
what we're
with.
drinking right now? It's
It's
very
cool label.
German. There's
Yep.
there's like a
A priest or
monk, I think.
monk?
Yeah. Monks make really good beer, in my experience.
That's true.
Dark beer, brewed and bottled in Munich, Germany,
It's a German brown ale.
by Augustiner Brewery. 7.5% alcohol by volume.
It's super imported. I've
Yeah.
never seen this beer in my life, so that's why I bought it. It's actually really good.
It's tasty.
Wifey sauce probably wouldn't enjoy it too much because she's not a huge fan of like Belgian style beers. I believe this is sort of a Belgian brown, even though it's a German beer. It's
Like
weird.
the Trappist monk beers.
I like it, though.
Those are
Yeah.
always really good.
Exactly. Cool. Wifey sauce, I hate you. Richard U, $5. AIO or Evo 212 current Evo. Oh, current Evo 212 i5 7600K 5.1 gigahertz 1.3 volts 73 degrees C load. Worth the upgrade. Okay. AIO or Evo 212.
So he has a 7600K that is at 5.1 gigahertz at 1.3 volts. That's 73C under load. Should he switch from an Evo 212 to an AIO?
First off, those are
Alright,
some pretty good
you're-
temps.
You have a very nice overclock. 5.1 on a 7600K is very solid, especially at 1.3 volts.
Yeah.
Your temps are fine. All that switching to an AIO is going to do is add a couple more points of failure, or at least one main one being the pump and potential leaks, which are minimal with an AIO, just to be clear, but it is another point of failure. And it's going to make things run a little bit cooler. But practically speaking, it's not. You're probably not going to be able to overclock anymore. So I would say with your setup, like you're fine. Like just leave that as is for the life of your 7600K.
Yeah. 73C is still
Yeah.
well under TJ Maxx for 7600K. So at that point, there's really, I mean, unless you really just want it for the aesthetic, you prefer the look of an AIO in your system. You're tired of looking at that terrible Evo 212, which isn't even that terrible. There's really not much reason to upgrade at the temperatures you're getting.
Yeah.
And congrats on your heavily binned 7600K.
Yeah, that's a
pretty
nice.
awesome.
That's a nice overclock.
Yeah.
Michael Anthony, $5 donation. Have you ever built a Hackintosh? I can't say that I have.
No, I haven't either.
Um,
I haven't really had like a reason to or like a need to.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been sort of just waiting for that one person who like needs the Apple OS or whatever, but wants to build
the
their
main
own,
reason
and they
to
come
do
to
it,
me to
the
do
main
it.
reason in my, I mean, for me personally at least, to do it would be to try out Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I spilled beer on my
Final
keyboard.
Cut Pro has not. I mean, like it's there's. I don't know. I've been curious, but it's not been enough for me to actually do that.
Nah.
Like I've always looked at it like Apple makes it like challenging to build a Hackintosh. I mean, it's not like impossible or anything like that. It's not like
no.
super difficult, but you have to jump through more hoops than you do with just like building a computer and installing Windows or installing Linux or something like that.
Yeah.
They don't want you to build Hackintoshes. So I've always been like, okay, then I
And
won't
I won't.
use your operating system since I like to build computers.
Yeah,
But
I don't have a
yeah,
problem with Windows.
it would need the proper motivation, I think, to get behind to actually try it out a little bit more seriously. But I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
There's a couple cool Hackintosh videos recently that I saw.
Dom.
Yeah, Dom did one.
Dom's was really good. He is a
And-
B-roll master.
Yeah, there was one other one.
So much porn on that guy.
Okay, Laboon the Whale.
Labunda Whale, $5.
$5. Bought the 1080 Ti SC2. Realized it doesn't have a water block available. What should I do? Retailer charges a fee for returns and it's still unopened. If it's unopened, try to contact the retailer directly and say, hey, it's unopened, it's still sealed, I'm returning it as new, can you waive the fee that you charge or whatever? If the retailer is Newegg, they will do that.
Yeah.
Or at least in my
They used to.
in my experience, they did. I can't speak now, it's been several years. But, yeah. If not, I don't know. I mean, it's sealed, you might be able to sell it or whatever. Also, double check what, PCB that has, because 1080 Ti SC2, does that have?
A custom PCB?
If it's not a custom PCB, it might just be the standard Founders Edition PCB, and you might be able to just use that. So I would double check that too. Yeah, the EVGA in particular has a pretty good array of water blocks available for their cards, in my experience.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more donations. Christopher Calvary, $5 donation. Ni howdy, y'all. Ni hao? Ni howdy. Ah, I get it. That's like a Western Chinese. Kyle, you should do 2 reaction videos to the Teaching Wifey Sauce While Drunk video.
Oh.
One with a reaction and one with hers.
That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be interesting to revisit. That's a classic video on your channel.
I think both of us in the same room reacting to it at the same time would be
Yeah.
kind of funny.
you could do that.
Especially if, like, I was drunk again.
Yeah, and then
During
we
the
could
reaction.
drunken reaction video to a drunken video. I wasn't drunk then. I'll show you
Yeah,
drunk.
Still sipping on that bottle of Basil Hayden.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Chris.
much. That's a
Great
good idea. One random person with 50 knocks. I have a 7700K 4.7 gigahertz GTX 1080. Would you go for 1440p 144 hertz or 4K 60?
40.
Yeah, I like the 1440 144 hertz because 4K is nice. The resolution is nice, but
60 hertz is kind of limiting these
Yeah.
days. When you've
I like the high
experienced
refresh rate.
144, yeah. I agree.
comparing those two directly, I would opt for the slightly lower resolution but better refresh rate.
Yep.
Pharaoh Barnhurst, $5. Kyle, how many weeks in a leap year? Guys, thanks for all the work to keep the Geek Nation happy. I
You are
imagine
welcome.
Greeks too. I don't know if there's an association. How many weeks in a leap year, Kyle?
The same. Same number, right? No. Yes. It's the same number. It's a trick question. It's a stupid trick question.
It's just one more day. There's one more day in a leap.
Yeah, so it's the same number of weeks. I mean, maybe like
year. It would be like
0.1 something weeks. more.
it'd be 1/7 more weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be specific. Look, we did math. All right.
method.
Guys, thanks a lot if you've been
Johnson's.
watching my... we got Johnson's. I'm always coming
How do you
close
forget the
to- I don't know. It's because I'm so delighted that my half is over. All right, some Johnson shout-outs to those of you who have purchased anything from us during the show. First Johnson goes out to Joel from Canada. Thank you, Joel.
Joel.
He got a Thumbscrew shirt and a mug.
Oh.
Lovely. Thank you so much, sir, for your support. I hope you enjoy those products. We also got Joe
Joe and Joe.
from Florida.
Yeah.
Got the pub glass as well as a shirt. Thank you so much, Joe Johnson. To you, Abraham from Minnesota. Wait, no,
Yep.
yeah, right.
Yep. Mississippi.
Shit.
Missouri. I don't know my state.
Michigan. It's Michigan.
Michigan.
This show reveals
Too many MI.
reveals so many gaps in our knowledge.
Oh,
All right,
Americans.
Abraham from Michigan. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Why do you even bother shouting them out their state?
Because I feel like it's a regional thing. They gotta be
just-
proud of your. All right, you're right. I won't mention from Earth. Abraham, citizen of Earth, fellow human.
Yet again.
English pub glass. Thank you so much for your order, Adam. From Pennsylvania. I'll look at it first and only say
There
it if
you
I
go.
even know what it is. I'm sure.
That would help things a lot.
Adam from Pennsylvania got a white logo shirt. Thank you so much, Adam. A couple more. Pedro from New Jersey, from Jersey, got a mug and a zero insertion for
You
shirt.
got a Mugsy.
The classic. And finally, Lewis or Louis, I don't know. Either one from New Jersey got the zero insertion for shirt too. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Louis.
I got a few here. Kevin from Canada.
Canada.
Canada. Thanks for picking up a metal gray T-shirt, the Evolution shirt. We've also got one from Joe. It's a Double Johnson to Joe. Fidget spinner,
Double
some
Johnson.
glasses, and a Bitwit white logo T-shirt. Thank you very much, sir.
Lovely.
Joe is from Florida. There's no like special Floridian
I
accent.
thought you were gonna do an Australian accent and try to tell people it was.
He's from Florida.
He's from Florida.
Florida. Joel, Double Johnson to you, sir. Bios Flasher shirt and a Bitwit logo in dark gray. Thank you very much, sir. We've got another one
Lovely.
from Michael.
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 Good old Mikey.
Yeah, from Minnesota, maybe. Who knows?
Pretty sure it's Minnesota.
Paul will fact check me. Thank you for picking up
Minnesota.
Minnesota, thank God. Ceramic mug and a
Yeah,
shirt.
United States.
Thank you very much, sir. Just a couple more here. We got one from Pedro Double Johnson.
Pedro Johnson.
Bios Flasher shirt and another shirt. And then we got two more. Roland.
Roland.
Roland. They see me Roland.
They hate
They hate me from Corona, our very own Corona,
lovely.
California.
That's
Beautiful.
lovely.
We're neighbors. Thank you very much, Roland, for picking up
it's
an
been hot
Evolution
lately.
shirt. And finally, last but not least, we have Lewis. Double Johnson to you, Lewis. Lewis, for picking up an Evolution shirt. Thank you guys so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We had one final donation that I just saw pop up from Teddy Huang.
Teddy Huang.
5,000 W's with 2 lines through it.
Whoa.
What's the best price to performance mechanical keyboard with RGB? Price to performance. It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
RGB.
Prices tend to fluctuate. There can be sales, there can be not sales. I would say go for a cherry-based keyboard. There's quite a few options.
Yeah.
Go for a manufacturer that you know does a good job. Corsair, of course, they were the first. G-Skill's got options. Logitech has options.
Yep.
Who else has options? Cooler Master has options.
Mm-hmm. Some other like smaller independent indie companies too.
Like Ducky. Do they have-
Ducky, Vermillo, just freaking
There's lots of other ones too. Go watch Random Frank P.
yeah. He does a lot of keyboard
He's
stuff.
like the king. I feel like Random Frank P
Mechanical
is
keyboard king.
to keyboards as Dimitri is to cases.
Mm,
That's right. That's my
that's true.
anyway.
Oh yeah, Razer. Razer's got some
Oh
options.
yeah,
too.
Razer. Okay. All right. That's all for my half.
Yay!
Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. I'll be continuing on Kyle half of the show. Link for that is in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in just a minute.
Yep.
And you all are awesome. We